Everybody, and welcome to Slowpoke Racing and to the Ultimate Racing League, sponsored by Eldridge Air Conditioning. This is our Sunday Championship. We are only we've just started it, second round, and this is the top split, so the best of the best of the best on the grid. So it's shaping up to be a fantastic season. This week we are down in Kent, or up in Kent, depending on where you are in the country. And we're at Brands Hatch. A little bit more about the track in a minute, but first of all, I just want to go down the grid. As I say, this is round 2, race 1. 2 races for you today, 18 laps for each. The first one is just out sprint race using the soft tyres, and race 2 is mediums and hard tyres have to be used, so there is a pit stop involved. So we're just going to crack straight on with this one. We're going to go down the grid, and then we'll have a quick look at the track, and then we'll get this one underway, shall we? So Brisbane gets himself on pole position after 10 minutes of qualifying. This is the second pole out of 2 races for Brisbane, so 2 out of 2 for him. He'll be looking to improve on that and continue his winning streak. Smith, he is just behind him in second. He missed race 1 last week, but joined for race 2, but I could only manage a 13th. Out of that run, so he's definitely got a point to prove today. Dyson is up there in third. Then we've got Motorstorm Hero in fourth. Enzo Jack is fifth. Good win for him last week in race 2. Then we've got Fitzy in sixth. Stormfly in seventh. I actually caught up with Stormfly during the week, actually, and he was telling me he's not really got to grips with this car yet. It doesn't feel settled and comfortable in it. And, well, it showed a couple of times last week. There were a few spills that were very un-Storm-like and Stormfly-like. But, yeah, that's the reason. He just said he just doesn't feel comfortable in it yet. But it's a long season ahead, so more to come from him. We've got Scott in 8th. We've got Victor in 9th. Osman in 10th. Panic at the Tesco 11th. And then at the back, we've got Bailey and Harry Poppins in 12th and 13th, both of them not raced yet. So this is their first outing in amongst most of these guys. They do know them. They've raced with a lot of these guys over quite a time, but not since we've had them all in one place. So Bailey and Harry Poppins at the back. I do know Bailey has been suffering from a bad back as well. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do. Could only manage 12 out of qualifying. And Harry Poppins could only get 13. But it's a long race ahead of us, 18 laps, as I've said. So a lot can happen. Now, just about the track, as I say, we're down in Kent at Brands Hatch, or Grand Snatch, as some people like to call it. 3.9 miles and 9 turns ahead of the guys. Pretty technical track, actually, quite tight. Overtaking is going to be tight and difficult, but if anybody can do it, these guys can. So looking forward to this one. So let's get this race underway, shall we? We will ask Brisbane to start. It's a rolling start. As I've already mentioned, it is going to be soft tyres for this first race. It is just a sprint race, so no real dramas as far as pit stops goes. As Brisbane gets his foot down, and away we go, heading towards Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Everybody just trying to get a bit of heat into those tyres. They're all in the Lamborghini Huracan, the GR3. Not my favourite car, but there you go, some like it. You can't like everything, can you? Smith in second, Dyson in third, then Motorstorm Hero in fourth. Everybody just trying to settle into their stride. Then we've got Enzo, Fitzy, Stormfly, Scott, as the rest of the pack. Oh, Osman's had a bit of an issue, same as Panic at the Tesco. Let's just go back and see what happened to them at the start. Yeah, I think that's probably far enough. So, well, Panic at the Tesco's already at the back. So I'm not quite sure what's happened there. So Osman and Bailey into Druids then. Osman very, very deep into Druid. But as we go down the hill, everything looking okay so far. Bailey just trying to make a move. Oh, Osman just kicks up a bit of dirt and he goes off. And that's what's happened to Osman. And Panic just tried to avoid him. He did avoid him, sorry. So mission accomplished that way, but the two of them now down at the back. So Panic in 12, Osman in 13 after that little mistake there coming out of Graham Hill Bend. but Brisbane still leads the rest of the group as they come around Sheen Curve. Then, well, sorry, I'm getting me corners all mixed up because I've got my map upside down. That's why I must put bits of paper and everything around me. I've got the laptop going, bits of paper, the map on the floor. It's all on the right mess. But anyway, Brisbane just about to complete lap 1 then, still out in front with Smith chasing him as they come through onto Brabham Straight and then up towards the start-finish line. The start lap 2 into turn 1 at Paddock Hill Bend, then Motorstorm Hero, then Day Dyson. Let's jump on board with Dyson as we take that tricky first bend, and then we start the climb up towards Druids. Very tight hairpin bend at turn 2. Then we go down the hill then towards Graham Hill Bend. Again, another tricky one, you know, so there's sand, there's grass, there's all sorts around this track. Anything just to catch you out. Quick look behind us, Enzo Jack there in 5th. As we come towards Surtees at turn 4, slight climb, little camber in the road that can unsettle the car, but these guys get through it nice and easily. Onto the Cooper Straight, Pilgrim's Drop. Really need to get this map sorted out. A quick look behind us and Enzo Jack bearing down on us. So far it is all nice and neat, everybody very bunched up still. Victor down there in 9th. Bailey into 10th, Harry Poppins in 11th, then we've got Panic and Oz at the back. Quick sip of tea, I'm getting a bit of a dry throat. Perhaps Oz needs to be at the back, he's too bright for everybody, putting everybody off. Brisbane still out in front. There you go. So Brisbane still out in front, trying to break away from Smith, but Smith having none of it. And he's actually staying with him. Oh, he's gone very deep into turn 1 though. Manages to keep it on track, but lost a bit of ground on Brisbane, and it's allowed Motorstorm to get in there. And Motorstorm just trying to get his nose in there and put Smith off, but Smith managing to close the door on him and stay in front, but Motorstorm practically pushing Smith along as we come up towards Surtees and at turn 4. Again, Motorstorm having a bit of a look, but no room. These Lamborghinis just seem so wide on this track. As we go down Pilgrim's Drop then for the 3rd time, headed towards Hawthorne Hill, down at turn 5. And again, nothing doing there for Motorstorm. He is just sticking to the back of Agent Smith. Down Derek Minter Straight onto the Westfield Bend at turn 6. This is a bit of a tricky turn as well as they come towards turn 7. Get your wheels across that curve, but the car still wants to drift out there to the left. Through Sterling's at turn 8. Dyson bearing down on us onto the clearways, then into Clark Curve at turn 9. And back on to Brabham Straight then to complete lap 3. This is where Motorstorm's going to try and use that little bit of slipstream that he's going to gain from Smith. He needs to get a little bit closer. He's not going to get a move done before they get to turn 1 now, as Smith just kicks up a little bit of dirt, easing that car into turn 1. Fantastic racing so far from these boys. Jake Dyson in 4th, still sticking with them. Then we've got Enzo Jack Fitzy in 6th. Then a very, very slight gap back to Stormfly in 7th, struggling with that Lamborghini at the minute. Scott in 8th, really giving Stormfly the hurry up, isn't he? Victor still into 9th with Bailey just behind him. Harry Poppins in 11th. Panic just getting a little bit squirrely there as he came out of Surtees, but managed to keep it facing the right way. And then we've got Osmond still down in 13th. Now, as I've said, this track is very, very difficult to overtake on it. It is not the widest of tracks. Personally, I think it's more designed for the touring cars than the great big wide Group 3 Lamborghinis, but here we are on the track anyway. And what a fantastic race we have ahead of us as Brisbane tries to open up a gap now back to Smith. Smith has picked up half a second penalty. Motorstorm will, I'm sure, have a big old smile on his face seeing that, because he knows that if he can stay within touching distance of Smith, then when he serves that penalty, Motorstorm will move up into P2. So that's his plan. he's just got to keep Dyson behind him. There is a very small gap, probably a two car lengths gap between Dyson and Motorstorm at the minute. Now then, when Smith serves that penalty, he is in danger of losing a couple of spots actually. If it stays like this, then Motorstorm will definitely go by, and there is also a possibility of Dyson taking a spot away from Smith as well. He needs to keep pushing, open up the gap, get it. You need to be about a second away from the car behind you. Half a second is the penalty, but by the time you've got back up to speed again, we might as well stick with these guys, because I think the penalty zone is where is it? It's just after Sterling's, I believe, at turn 8, and we are just coming through turn 7 at Sheen Curve now, so you can see the bar starting to fill up on Smith's car. So we'll stay with Motorstorm as Smith serves that penalty. There you go, brakes slammed on. Motorstorm has got the momentum, and it's sure, no, he might not. I thought he was going to go through. He had a bit of a look, but Smith says, no, you're not, sonny boy. You're going to have to work a bit harder than that. And he slammed the door shut on him, but Motorstorm has done the old switcheroo and got himself on the inside. So Motorstorm now moves up into P2 as they hit turn 1. Dyson couldn't get close enough to capitalise on Smith's penalty mistake, and Smith has managed to hold on to P3, but Dyson is now all over the back of Smith, having a proper good look in the boot of the car in front of him. We've got Enzo Jack bringing the rest of the pack with him as well. They've all closed up now because of the battle taking place just ahead. We've got Fitzy in 6th. Let's just go back up and see what's happening with Smith and Dyson. Dyson all over the back of Smith as Motorstorm tries to pull away. He's trying to get a gap between himself and Smith, but Smith is not having it. He's having another look up the inside as they come down the hill to Sheen Curve. Dyson cutting that corner just enough to stay within track limit. Fantastic stuff from these guys. Dyson pushing hard. Enzo Jack, he wants to get in amongst this little party as well, but he's got his own problems in the shape of Fitzy sniffing around his rear end and pushing him all the way. Oh, and Stormfly's picked up half a second penalty as well. That will be for track limit, so Scott surely will take that position away from Stormfly. Scott is close enough for Stormfly. The brakes go on, he's back on the power again, but no, he has to give that place up, and Scott goes through to P7, so Stormfly dropping down to 8th now. Then we do have a little bit of a gap then back to Bailey in 9th. Struggling through the pain that he's got in his back, but he's doing a decent job so far to hold on to P9. Then we've got Victor in 10th. Panic at the Tesco in 11th with Osman. He's made up a place and moves up into 12th with Harry Poppins down in 13th. So I'm guessing Harry Poppins, he must have had a bit of a moment at somewhere, because there is a bit of a gap now between himself and Osman, and that, although it doesn't look that big of a gap, is a hell of a mountain to climb for Harry Poppins when you're trying to catch up to these guys. Out in front, Brisbane, a look at the gap he's opened up. He's got the fastest lap, a 1:23.5. He's got a fast sector as well. Another quick swig of tea before it goes cold. And yeah, we're watching a master at work here, Brisbane, using every inch of the track. Motorstorm, he's picked up half a second penalty while they're being dished out left, right and centre here, aren't they? Motorstorm's picked one up, Smith has picked one up as well. So is this an opportunity for Dyson to make up a couple of spots? He's not going to catch up to the back of Motorstorm. Oh, Smith is going to serve that penalty on the next lap. And Motorstorm has had to concede that spot to Smith. So Smith moves back up into P2, but does pick up. Well, he's got that original penalty, hasn't he, that he didn't serve a minute ago. Motorstorm did, Smith didn't. He must have picked it up too close to the penalty zone. So I'm pretty sure Motorstorm and Smith are going to swap places as Motorstorm has a look at the inside as they get to Druids, but nothing doing there. Smith slams the door shut down the bottom of the hill to Graham Hill Bend, then on to Cooper Straight, heading towards Surtees. It is Smith leading this group. He is in P2 at the minute. Motorstorm in 3rd, Jay Dyson in 4th, Fitzy in 5th with Enzo Jack in 6th and Scott in 7th. Let's jump on board with Scott as we try and chase up the rest of this pack. A quick look behind us and we've got Stormfly chasing down in P8, but Scott is more interested in what's happening up at front, hoping that one of the guys makes a mistake as Enzo Jack kicks up a little bit of dirt into Scott's face. trying to put him off, but he's going to have to work harder than that to put Scott off. What a great close race so far as the guys go through Sheen Curve at turn 7, down the hill towards turn 8 at Stirling's, onto Clearway. Again, using every inch of the track they possibly can. A quick look behind us, Stormfly not made up that gap just yet. Through Clark Curve onto turn 9 and onto the Brabham Straight to finish off lap 8 and start lap 9. Fantastic stuff from these guys. Let's just see what's happening with Motorstorm. Oh, Smith has gone wide. Smith has gone very deep into turn 1, or the exit of turn 1, and Motorstorm slips on through and back up into P2. These two are just chopping and changing every single lap. So Motorstorm now moves up into P2 with Smith in P3. Brisbane is missing out on so much action and fun. He needs to slow down and get involved in this. I need another slurp of tea. Oh, beautiful. Smith then in third with Dyson in fourth, pushing hard. Dyson just sitting there waiting. He knows the mistake's coming from either of the two guys just in front of him. He's just got to bide his time. He's got to keep Fitzy behind him. Fitzy having a good steady race as well, staying in touch with the guys just ahead of him, not letting them get too far away, so if any mistakes do happen, he's ready and waiting to pounce. We have got Scott in 6th, winner of League One last season, and well, he was always destined to be in the League of Champions, and now he's in there. I bet he wishes he was back in League One, but this is a tough grid, but I bet he's out there enjoying himself really. Enzo Jack is the same. He's sitting there in 7th. As I say, good win last week. Had a disastrous first race, did Enzo Jack, but made amends in race 2 with the reverse grid. Bailey now up to 8th with Victor in 9th, Panic in 10th, Osmond 11th. We've got Stormfly really is struggling. He's got a fantastic livery, but it's really not helping him go any quicker, is it? But Stormfly really struggling. Oh, we got a yellow flag. What have we got the yellow flag for? Oh, it's Dyson. No, I don't believe it. Let's go back. See if we can find him. Where is he? We will find you, Dyson. There we go. We have found you. Let us see what's happened. So into turn 1 then, did he just get this a little bit wrong? No, turn 1 not a problem at all. Up the hill into turn 2 at Druids, still in 4th, back on the power nice and early. Oh, and the back end just decided it was going to keep on going, and Dyson couldn't catch hold of it. What a shame. That was just coming out of Druids at turn 2. He's waiting for a clear entry point back onto the track. What a shame. He will be absolutely cussing and cursing, I am sure, in a big broad Scottish accent, and having a go at his race director, because it's all his fault and not Dyson's for that spin. But Dyson now down to 11th, and he's got Stormfly just behind him, with Harry Poppins trying desperately to catch up to the rest of the pack in 13th. However, if it stays like this, he will be starting on pole in race 2. So yeah, Harry Poppins, in previous rounds that I've covered with Harry Poppins, doesn't always qualify very well, but he does like to finish up there in the top 3 or 4. So plenty more to come from Harry Poppins. I need to finish this tee off before it gets too cold. Brisbane then really opening up a decent gap now and has this race well and truly under control. Well, let's have a look. We are at lap 11 of 18. And Brisbane just making it look very easy. It's almost like a practice session for him, but I'm sure that's not the case. He will be concentrating very, very hard. He knows that one slight error and the rest of the group will be on top of him. We'll do a lap with Brisbane in a minute just to go around the whole track, but let's just have a look and see what's happening now. Then Motorstorm in P2 has opened up a couple of car length gap between himself and Smith as they go down Pilgrims Drop towards Hawthorne Hill and Hawthorne Bend at turn 5 at the bottom of this hill, this right-hander, as Smith desperately tries, getting a little bit squirrely then himself. In P3 was Smith. He's got Fitzy behind him still, then Scott, Enzo Jack, Bailey Bailey up to 7th now with Victor in at 8th, Panic at 9th, Osman, Dyson down in 11th after that spill of his. Then we've got Stormflight and Harry Poppins, so let's just have a look, shall we? Brisbane, let's go on board with Brisbane and see if he'll take us for a lap. So into turn 1 we go at Paddock Hill Bend. Very tight, you can see just how tight that track is, and Brisbane using every inch of it and maybe even a little bit more. Then we're into Druids, this very tight hairpin bend at turn 2. Down the hill we go to Graham Hill Bend at turn 3, onto the Cooper Straight. Back on the power again. Then we're turning into turn 4, which is Surtees. Slight camber in the road and uphill, which can unsettle the car, but Brisbane makes it look very easy. We're on to Pilgrim's Drop now as we start the descent down towards Hawthorne Bend at the bottom there, turn 5. A little dab of the brakes and then back on the power again for Brisbane, so through Hawthorne's Bend onto Derek Minter Straight, which takes us into turn 6 at Westfield Bend. Then we're into Dingle Dell and heading towards Sheen Curve at the top of this hill. Cutting as much corner as you dare there at turn 7. Down the hill then towards turn 8 at Stirling's. Back on the power again onto the clearways with just one more turn at Clark Curve, turn 9, and then we're back onto the Brabham Straight. A pretty short track really for these guys. And there we see the start finish line just ahead of us, which will soon turn into a checkered waving flag for Brisbane. So thank you to Brisbane for taking us around Brands Hatch, or Grand Snatch as some like to call it. So let's just see what's happening behind him then. He's going to take some catching, isn't he? Motorstorm, still got that little gap, a little bit of a breathing space between himself and, oh, now Fitzy. Excuse me, while we're on board with Brisbane, what has happened? We've had a change now then. Let's have a look. It is, well, I'm not quite sure what's happened. It's Motorstorm in 2nd, Fitzy is 3rd, Smith, that's right, it was Smith and Fitzy, so Smith and Fitzy have swapped over. So Smith, I think he had a penalty to serve, didn't he? So that's probably what's happened to Smith. So he's now down in 4th. He's having a fantastic race though. I bet he's absolutely loving it out there. He is just behind Fitzy. Bit of a gap though, bit of a gap between the two of them. Fitzy is now starting to put the pressure on Motorstorm Hero. So great racing for Fitzy so far. He's up onto the podium. Smith in 4th with Scott in tow. Scott having a bit of a sniff around the rear end of Agent Smith's car. He's trying to push him, trying to get a mistake out of him, and we've seen the penalties being dished out quite easily on this track. And to be fair to these guys, it's very easy to do. These Lamborghinis aren't the thinnest of cars, and it's not the widest of track either, and they are pushing it to the absolute limit. Fastest man on track at the minute is Brisbane with a 1:23.2. What a fantastic lap time that is. That Scott pushing Smith hard as they go into turn 1 for the 14th time. 5 laps to go, including this one. Enzo Jack in 6th, just watching the battle ahead of him. He's got Bailey for company. Bailey battling through the pain. I'm sure he's popping the pills and swigging the old whatever it is he's swigging to try and fight the pain, but fair play to him. He's out there on track and he's doing it. 3 times winner of League of Champions was Bailey, so no slouch. Then we've got Victor from Hungary, I believe. I think that's a Hungarian flag. If it's not, then please correct me, but I'm pretty sure it's right. It is Hungarian. So Victor in P8 again, another very quick driver. Makes the odd mistake, I think, which drops him down a few spots, but if he can iron them out, then he's definitely one to keep an eye on, and will be up there on the podium in a lot of races, I'm sure. Panic at the Tesco, another very quick, accomplished driver. He's quite capable of getting himself up there on the podium. Then we've got Osman. Well, we all know Osman, the Welsh wizard with a wheel. More than capable of winning a race. Struggling a little bit today. Didn't get a great start, did he? With I think he was down in P10 for the start of this race. Yeah, he was down in P10 at the beginning, so that's not where you need to be when you've got these guys on track with you. Then we've got Dyson. Fantastic start to the race for Dyson, but unlucky when he had that incident just coming out of Druids. That cost him dearly and has dropped him right down to the back of the pack. Stormfly, as I say at the beginning of this stream, I was talking to him during the week and he was telling me that he's really not, as he decides to move the cones and drop them in the track. Really is not got to grips with this car. He's not altogether happy with it, and at the minute it shows. But again, Stormfly, a winner of many previous races, so you will never count him out of getting some wins under his belt. So once he gets to grips with this car, the rest of the guys on track better hope that he never gets to grips, because when he does, then he's a force to be reckoned with. And the same with Harry Poppins as well. Again, a very, very quick guy. Just got to get used to the car. Remember, this is his first race this season and in this car. So probably still finding out its quirks, and it's got lots. Damn thing. Somebody who has got to grips with it very, very quickly is Brisbane, out in front then on lap 16. 3 laps to go, including this one for him. Motorstorm Hero still sitting there in P2 with Fitzy chasing him down. We'll jump on board with Fitzy, shall we, as we go into turn 4 at Surtees. Up the slight hill over the top, and then we start the Pilgrim's Drop down towards Hawthorne at turn 5. A quick look behind us. Bit of a gap now back to Smith. So Fitzy can breathe a little bit. He can concentrate fully on the back of Motorstorm Hero's car as they just nick the curves there of Westfield at turn 6. Up the hill then towards turn 7 at Sheen Curve. Again, trying to nick as much as you can off that curve, otherwise you will find yourself out there on the grass on the left. Through Stirling's onto Clearways, and soon to be crossing the line to start the penultimate lap. And at the minute, Fitzy just cannot get close enough to Motorstorm Hero to make a move on him. He's just going to have to hope and pray that Motorstorm makes the mistake himself and opens the door up for Fitzy. Fitzy will be waiting for him, I am sure. If that happens, nothing doing yet. Motorstorm keeping it all very nice and tidy. That's your top 3 then. At the minute, Scott has made his way into 4th, so he's managed to get by Smith. So Smith, who had a brilliant start to the race, has now lost out to Scott, but it is fighting back. Smith is pushing hard, probably a bit too hard, and that's what's cost him. Kicking up quite a bit of dirt and gravel there, so he's got dirty tyres. Just needs to be a little bit careful as he takes this turn here. Doesn't want to go drifting out any further. Trying to stay with Scott, stay within the slipstream, although it doesn't really kick in too much on this track. Not a massive advantage, the slipstream around here. It's just too short a track. Remember, it is only 3.9 miles. As Smith really pushing the track limits. You can see him getting the tyres over that white line and just teasing the grass there. Both of these turns. Now, I'm not sure if this is the Huracan that's a 4-wheel drive, but Smith, well, he's putting it to the test, isn't he? As he gets across some of these corners, but still sitting there in 5th. Excuse me. As the guys cross the line to start the final lap. Bailey down in 6th. Well, I say down in 6th. That's a great drive from Bailey, especially if he is suffering from a bad back, because he started down in 12th. I'm just having a look at my notes, just making sure I'm right. So he did start down in 12th, so 6th place is game for Bailey with a bad back. Fantastic racing for him. Victor in 7th. Then we've got Panic, Osmond, Dyson, Stormfly, Enzo. Oh, Enzo must have had an issue. We missed that, and apologies for that. But Enzo down in 12th with Harry Poppins in 13th, and a long, long way away. So we're going to go with Brisbane and follow him around these final few turns. And, well, what a convincing win this has been for Brisbane. He's made it look easy. Kept his nose clean. Straightforward race, went absolutely according to plan as he comes up to take clock for the final time in race 1. He will come onto Brabham Straight and soon be staring at the checkered flag. A flash of the lights, so he's pleased with that, and why not? He can go and put the kettle on and wait for the rest of the guys to finish. Motorstorm around the final turn then and across the line to take second. Well done to him. And Fitzy rounds off the podium with a third. Scott in fourth. Bailey across the line in fifth. Victor sixth. What's happened to Fitz? Oh, there Fitzy. Panic at the Tesco seventh. Osman eighth. Dyson ninth. Smith, it was Smith I was looking for, down in 10th. Probably pushed just a bit too hard. Stormfly. Oh, Enzo Jack, another big spill at the end there. So Stormfly will finish. No, he will. Yes, he won't. Enzo Jack finishes in 11th. Harry Poppins has gone into the pits, and Stormfly will cross the line in 13th. So Harry Poppins, well, he's actually finished within the pit lane in 13th. Wow, it's all happening down here in Brands Hatch. Fantastic stuff from the Pro Split 1 guys. I will be back very, very shortly for race 2, so keep an eye out for that one. In the meantime, thanks for watching. I shall catch you in a minute.